Welcome to selfdiscoverymedia.com, where we discover the communities that are making a difference in the lives of others. Our self-discovery is something we are all making on our life's journey. Here you will find the people that will be your guidance, that will be your inspiration, that will be there for you in support on your journey of life. Do enjoy. Our next show is... Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. Welcome back to another edition of Choose Positive Living right here on selfdiscoverymedia.com. I'm your host, Sarah Troy, and my wonderful guest is JoyAnn Gold. We're going to be talking about something we all, if we're lucky, get to do, and that is age. And age is not a sin. It is not something that's out to get you. It is absolutely wonderful because you gain wisdom along the way and you really understand what's really important in life. So she says, what is your story around aging? It's likely focused on fear and decline, the culture story that we've been programmed since childhood. Imagine writing a new story that's all about joy and expansion for life's third chapter. That's the 60s and 90s and beyond. That's the mission, JoyAnn Gold, is to help baby boomer women design and live their grandest years yet. We're going to hear her story of how she overcame extremely low self-worth at the result of being the second-born identical twin, and today has fallen in love with herself and life all over again. Having recently celebrated her 78th young birthday, she's passionate about the next 25 years and all that it tells. It is never too late to be great. Never, ever too late to be great. Absolutely not. In fact, I think we get greater with age as far as I'm concerned. Welcome to the show, love.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, I think my motto is 78. It's never too late to be great.
Right. You're right. I have my landlady next month turns 88. She's still driving. She's still doing everything. You know, she's maybe some short-term memory going, but I mean, feisty little thing and loves life. That's the secret. Love life, right?
That is so true. You have to love life. And I feel for myself to come into this place where I am today, I had to fall in love, first of all, with myself.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Then, and I get goosebumps as I say that, because that was a huge transformation for me.
It wasn't permission in our lifetime, you know, in our childhood growing up. It's who do you think you are? You know, you're being vain, right? You know, having the love of self or self-confidence was cocky, you know, and be more submissive. And we just didn't have that permission. And it's like, you can't hold the lioness back. She's got a roar inside of her that needs to come out, and out it is going to come. We don't need anybody else's permission, do we? We only need our own.
That is so true. And when you discover that you can truly love yourself, that you can look in the mirror and just feel so much joy over who is looking back at you,
yes,
then you can go forward and you can accept life so much easier and all the little challenges that may come forward with aging.
mm-hmm.
But we love right where we're at.
And we don't have to compare ourselves with 20s, 30s, or 40s. You know, it's no longer, oh God, I wish I was that age. And I'm 66, be 67 this year. And it is about enjoying where you're at. And yes, I've slowed down physically a lot. I've also slowed down on many, many levels where I take more in. I'm slower to do things so I can enjoy things more fruitfully and more thoroughly. And if we're going to constantly compare, but, you know, I could do that in my 40s and 50s. I can't do it now. What's wrong with me? We're letting ourselves down, aren't we?
We certainly are. Yes, like you say, to compare yourself with the younger self or others that are young, you're doing a great disservice. It's celebrating this stage of life.
Yes.
I call it the third chapter of life, the 60s to the 90s plus. And actually, I feel it can be our grandest. For me,
Mm-hmm.
it's going to be, it is already.
Yeah.
And I know my next years are even going to be grander.
I'm completely with you. Physically, I'm nowhere near what I was before, and I've learned to accept that. But emotionally, spiritually, from a place of heart, confidence, and soul, I am the best I've ever been. Right?
I agree. Yeah, we we are continually growing and evolving as we age. And when we realize that, the gift that we can be with our wisdom and who we are and the legacy that we're going to leave when we allow ourselves to just be all that we can be in this stage of life.
Yes. You know, God, would we want to have the same energy we had in 20s and 30s? I wouldn't, it's a little more energy would be nice, but no, I wouldn't, because when we look back on that, it's almost tiring to look back on ourselves at that time and say, did you even pause to breathe? Because you just, whoomph, got to be at the next place, doing the next thing, and everything is, about getting out there and ba, 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 ba. And we didn't take time to smell the roses. We didn't take time to even enjoy our little successes because we were too busy with the foot to the pedal. And now we can really enjoy and savor every moment, can't we?
Wow, that is so true. When I think back at my life and yes, my successes, I truly did not celebrate myself
Mm-mm.
like I do now. When I do something maybe that I've not done before, I actually get kind of childlike
Yes,
and get
yes.
gleeful about it. And that's, I think, really, really important to celebrate all of our wins at any stage. But as we grow older
Yeah.
and grow ageless in our mind, then to celebrate ourselves more is so important.
It is very, very important. The oldest person I've interviewed is 88, the pink lady. I had her on when she was 86 and then back at 88. And she was in a new love relationship. She had a TV show. She's a woman that there's only one word that comes to this, chutzpah. She's grabbed life by the horns, no matter what's been thrown at her. And she's, just made joy out of it. And another one at 82, Esther Schriffrin, who wrote a rhyme, a poem, every single day of COVID for 15 months. And she's an artist and a concert pianist and everything. And again, she has a zest for life. And it's
Mm,
like, okay, I may be locked down, but I'm going to make something out of this, and she'll put Zoom on and dance to it and post it, and it is about really understanding the gift of life and truly and utterly embracing it, isn't it? And as you said, being childlike and what's this thing about, oh, you act your age? What is my age meant to act like? If there's childlike exuberance in me, let me be exuberant.
right, right. I just have to share with you. It was just a week ago that I celebrated my 78th, and that
Yay, belated happy birthday.
and I made a decision that I was truly going to let my little girl, my childlike
Mm,
spirit, come out and play all day.
good.
And I went to the mountain, and I have never, uh, I've gone there before, but I saw things as a child sees them for the first time. I was in awe of things, and I remember up at the mountaintop, and I was just loving the big trees, and I was whirling and dancing around. Then I saw some people looking at me,
Come
and I
join
didn't
me. Come
care.
join me.
That was it. I mean, it was so much fun
Mm,
to just be so playful
yeah.
and celebrate. And that's what we all need to do every day,
Yeah.
really, to
And
allow that.
put yourself around young people, right? Yes. Right. You rub off on them, they rub off on you.
Right, right, exactly. It's so true. Um, yeah, when you're around somebody that really has a negative energy, I mean,
Oh,
you can so wonderful.
Hmm.
And wow, you got to really work to bring yourself back
Yeah,
to that space. It's our energy is contagious.
it is. So dance in the street, darling, dance in the street. People have made millions of movies like that, so why can't you do it? It actually reminds me of a time when I was in Paris at the Sacre-Cœur steps. I was with an ex-girlfriend of my brother's, and who's an artist, and somebody started playing some bum 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 bums, and I just got up there and started dancing to it, and then the next you know, there's people around them. They've got my name from my friend, and they're chanting Sarah, Sarah, and then somebody came out with a guitar, and then I'm just dancing away, and then she had this kind of wax crayon that she's doing a picture of me. And then we all got up and continued kind of singing and dancing on the way to Montmartre as everybody just started dispersing. And it was just completely like out of a scene of a movie. But it stayed in my heart. You know, that was 75. It stayed in my heart all of these years of that moment of just purely being in the moment and other people enjoying the moment as well. It was just wonderful. I wish we could do more of that.
I agree. We got to free ourselves.
Yes,
That,
yes,
I
especially right
remember
now.
I at 73, I like to create models for my 8th year. And so I announced 73, I'm free to be me.
Yes, yes, yes,
And I have been since that point, being freer and freer. You know, I look back and I'm not judging myself as like I did. Well, Sarah, you know, I was born as the identical twin,
yes.
second born, which I took it on that I was second best. And for whatever reason, I learned to do everything second. You know, my sister crawled first, walked first. In school, she'd get an A, I'd get an A minus.
Mm.
I would not allow myself to be, you know, surpass or even quite equal. I was second best. And so as a result, I I didn't let myself be free to truly be me because I too, others have said, I'm probably the more, uh, how can I describe myself? Uh, Freer to be me or to not worry about what others think about as much. But
At
if,
all. Not as much at all. It doesn't matter what they think of you. It's their opinion. They're
yeah,
entitled to it, right? Don't take it on.
so it's so wonderful now to have freed myself of
Yes.
that.
Yeah, I mean, God, who put the second best thing on you? You know, it's that's ridiculous. However, again, my landlady was about to turn 88, was a twin, and her twin sister, although they were identical, had a more open persona, and she was more reserved. Her sister died when she was 6, and then shortly after that, she ended up in hospital with polio for 4 years. But she always felt that she wasn't as good as her sister. I don't know where she was born, but it was always the other one was better. So I don't know, is it a twin thing? You're always feeling, you know, the best of me is in her. No, no, the best of you is in you. Bring it out. And I'm sorry it took 73 years for you to do that, because you don't need permission from anyone to be fabulous. You don't. Or to be yourself.
Yes,
That's the
yes,
most important thing, to be yourself, not to be measured against anybody else's expectation of you or dictation of you, but to be yourself and to stand tall in it and say, I am what I am. Popeye, I am what I am. I love who I am, all my flawsomeness, right? All my craziness, all my weirdness, because it's what makes me who I am. You can either like me or not like me, and I won't be offended.
yes. Uh, and I think the older we get, the more years we have. I shouldn't say older. I always say, you know, the more years we have lived,
Mm-hmm.
uh, we come to accept ourselves.
Yeah.
If we love ourselves,
Yes.
we truly do come to accept who we are and celebrate who we are with all of our flaws and
Yeah.
imperfections. And I'm much more willing now to do things and not have to be perfect.
Yes.
Because I was striving all those years, I felt I needed to. I was almost a perfectionist,
Yeah.
and boy, it's wonderful to be free of that, where I can just say, "This is good. This is the best I can do today," and I celebrate it.
Oh, isn't that a deep breath? A total deep breath, you know? This is the best I could do today, and I'm not going to beat myself up if it wasn't as good as yesterday, or maybe not even going to be as good as tomorrow. It's what I did today, and that's good enough.
And go to bed at night with gratitude feeling.
Yeah.
I what I did, and I think, I always try to think of uh, how did I bless the world, or how did I bless somebody
Hmm.
today? And the good thing about COVID was we had more time to be
Yeah.
on social media,
Yep.
and I got into sharing more and really appreciating other people more. And it's such a gift to just reach out and compliment and share your joy of what you're receiving from others and that you're blessing them. I call that double joy.
Mm.
When you share something with someone else that brings them joy, it comes right back to you. It's a double joy moment.
Yes. Yes. It's like when you're giving a gift, you're receiving a gift. And that's
That,
because the gift you're giving has made a difference for somebody. And in that, knowing that you've made a difference in some form or other is a gift back to you. So, yeah, I quite agree. Double gift. Um, Back in the day, it'd be, well, what's in it for me? Well, what's in it for me now is that if anybody gets any joy out of anything I do, then there's that gift back to me, right? So it, but we don't do things for any of that, do we? Perhaps when we were younger, we were looking for affirmations or accolades, and now it's like, no, I just do it because I love doing it, right?
exactly. And that's where I think today, with so many of us at this stage of life, love to volunteer
Yes.
because we're just because the joy of giving to others
Hmm.
and in some way or serving, when we can stop focusing on ourselves and look to what I can do for others, that is also a big part of growing ageless.
Yeah. But there's also a sense of camaraderie around it. A place, we all like to know that we kind of belong. And, many people retire. I don't know if I'll ever retire, but, people retire from their jobs and then they go and do their passion, right?
Right.
So whether they're volunteering or they've started up a new career or still working hard like you, the whole point is we want to still be engaged. We want to still know that we're contributing. So whether it is you are volunteering and making a difference, or you're starting a new business, or venturing out on a passion or something you've always wanted to do, there's
Mhm.
that need to feel useful, but also to build a tribe and a camaraderie around you where you can go and do things together. And that's very essential as we get older, isn't it?
Oh, indeed, indeed. I think that's why I'm so passionate right now, is that starting my project of growing ageless and creating a large community and having a grand vision of how we can help to change the cultural story. I just want everybody to celebrate this stage of life. When I talk with women and I ask them, how do you see yourself at, say, 95? And, I get a response sometime, too often, I should say, of, well, I don't think I'll be living, or um, I'm afraid of where I might be. My mind will have gone. They don't have a positive vision.
Right, right. Yeah, that's so detrimental.
It
They're
is.
digging their own grave way too soon.
Exactly.
Mm. Yeah, we end up where we perceive ourselves to be.
Hmm.
So if we can actually envision ourselves, being beautiful and abundant and productive, um, at an old age of 95, then, or young age of 95, it all depends from where you're looking at it. Um, then we know we're still contributors. That's the important thing. We still want to know we count, right? And if you've given
Right.
up already,
That's for sure. I think one of the things that really, one of the exercises that really, really helped me to feel my sense of longevity was 6 years ago. I was at a health retreat and I was asked to create a 25-year plan for my life. At that point, I was 72. And so to see my 97-year-old self
mm-hmm,
and truly visualize in every step of the way, every 5 years, what do you see yourself doing? That is amazing exercise.
yes.
It really, really expands and it gives you so much joy to think about the different things that you might be doing throughout the years. And when you hold on to that, it's fabulous.
But
It
there's
is.
something more important than that, is that it's showing you that anything is still possible. It
Yes.
is us that's going to put the age limitation on us or the expiry date on us, right? And if we look at, okay, at 78, I'm doing this. At 82, I might be doing that. At 87, I might be doing that. But the point is that I believe I can. I know I want to. And if I feed those seeds and nurture and help them grow, then I will be doing something around that at that stage or that age. It doesn't have to be perfect. We don't really want you to learn tightrope walking, in your 80s, because it just might not be very good. But there's always something that we can be doing. And if you haven't got anything to look forward to, you're going to give up.
I had a great example of that with my mother. She did not have anything really to look forward to. I mean, we would, if a celebration, a birthday, or we get a gathering or something, she would look forward to that. And then, oh, now what? She, in, when you have a plan for your life, like you say, and you look forward to it, you can feel that anticipation, that joy, that excitement
Yes.
always, because you can be with your dream of another stage of something you might do.
Don't you think that today, back in the day, an actor or an actress would reach 30 and be put out to pasture, and an actor, with the grey sideburns and the grey was distinguished, right? But now we're seeing so many actresses, Helen Mirren, Judy Dench, Maggie Smith, and numerous others that are still acting in their 80s and 90s, and full of the beautiful wrinkles and grey hair and laughter and mischief, but they're still giving fabulous, great performances in who they are. I mean, Helen Mirren is in this new Fast and Furious movie. I mean, she's just got such a zest for life. And I think they're a wonderful example of there's always a role for somebody of our age.
Ah,
Always a role, right? Don't
ah,
write me off.
that's right. We just got to, all of us, accept that and believe that.
And write the script ourselves.
Yes, yes,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
A new script.
yeah,
Exactly.
yeah,
And go for it, because what's the alternative? I mean,
yeah.
uh, I also saw that when my dad was in a senior care community, looking at the contrast between the residents. Now, yes, you can end up in a senior care community and yet be have hope and passion and want to make it good for everybody. My dad did. He was telling jokes to everybody, celebrating up until 2 days before he passed.
Mm-hmm.
Others, took it as woe is me and sit there,
Yeah.
and find no joy, nothing to be happy about. And I want to, I heard two stories about two different people in care centers. One was a lady who wrote letters to veterans to keep herself excited and motivated.
Yeah.
And another was an elderly man who couldn't get out of bed. He learned to knit, and so he knitted scarves for the homeless.
Mhm.
I mean, we can always do something.
Yes. And it doesn't matter how big or small, it's doing. Every year I have a word, and this word is actionism this year. It's like, stop talking about it, start doing it. Even if it's just seeding and watering the seeds, do it. Last year was the reflection, last year was the pause, review, renew. This year is the actionism. That goes for any year, really, in our lives. You maybe can't do what you did last year, but there's something you can do this year. And all you have to do is look at what it is, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We have to just be open to new possibilities.
And don't you think that humor is one of the love is the be all and the end all, because when you're in a state of love, you're in a state of peace and truth and meaningful purpose. But humor, I think, is the oxygen to our longevity, because if we can't laugh at ourselves or at life or at anything else, then we're going to go to the flip side and look at the misery. And who wants to go there? No, thank you. I rather look at the laughter and
Oh, I
make,
so agree.
make
I mean,
fun of ourselves, right?
my dad would tell a joke and he would get such a kick out of himself. He'd and laugh, and we'd almost laugh at him more than the joke. It
Yeah,
was wonderful.
yeah. And that kind of, I mean, I have a 13-week-old grandson, and I've just had the weekend with him and Papa's first Father's Day and all of that. And he's at that cooey stage of, conversing back with you and all of that. And, I filmed a 7-minute video of him just doing that. And it's like typical grandma thing, you can't get enough of it. And it's like, but then he's looking at the trees and the light coming through, or he's looking at, this or that going on. And it just like, what are you looking at? Oh, yeah, I see it too. And we're seeing life through these beautiful new eyes. And we're seeing things differently. And it's so intoxicating and inviting because it's all around us, folks. What was there when you were 20, 30, and 40 is still there. You've just forgotten to look. Right?
Mm-hmm. So true. Like I said, to keep that childlike spirit alive and see life from that perspective, it changes everything. It changes your attitude. And children are not judgmental,
Right.
And I have a friend who reminded me of that, and he had a childlike spirit.
Mm.
And he would always say, I wonder what that's about for them.
Mm.
And something that he didn't quite understand why they were doing, or maybe would want to judge it, he would have a curiosity
Yes.
about it.
Isn't that healthier?
Oh, no comparison.
Exactly.
I tried to take that on, and it's made such a difference.
We become so much more forgiving as we grow older, don't we?
We do.
So much more understanding is that who am I to cast that stone or that judgment, right? And um, that person is going through a sorrow. Who am I to say, well, I've been through the same thing and it only took me 3 months. What's wrong? What's your problem? We have no right to tell people, instead, be that encouragement of joy in their life, even if it's one drop at a time. It eventually, those drops will light up. But we can't, we can be an example. We can be an inspiration that begets an invitation. And if
Yes.
they're around you, that the intoxication of who you are and the way you see life and the exuberance of you can rub off on people and invite them to, through their cloud, to see that there is life afterwards. But we can't demand people snap out of it.
No, no. We can only be the example.
Yeah.
And from that place, celebrating ourselves and everyone else, see them, and celebrate them for who they are right where they're at.
Yes.
And that's the way that it's so much easier. It just makes life a joy instead of trying to have others conform to our opinions, our views.
Yeah.
I mean, if everybody felt the same way as I do, it'd be a boring world, perhaps.
Yes.
you know,
Yes. People were looking to become dull as an as an opposite instead of exuberant. Um, I said about being around people, and I think if you can have children around you, animals around you, pets, they just the intuition of a pet is wonderful. They just know you, what's going on from the inside out, and they can really lift you up. And if it can get you out, or if it can get you around other people, um, not everybody can be mobile. I understand that, but there is this technology thing called Zoom, right? Or a phone, and there's always something you can do if you want to volunteer for something, of phoning people for some reason, research or whatever, or census or whatever the thing is. There's always something you can volunteer to do, even if you can't physically go out. But
right.
that sense of purpose is so important.
I think of what comes to me is you can be adventuresome in
Yes.
spirit,
Yes.
and even if it can't be in physical,
Yeah.
uh, looking for how can I be inquisitive, talk to somebody, inquire about a new thought, a new idea, uh, just move with that sense again, back that childlike inquisitiveness with
People.
everything that we do.
Yeah. My big word is wondrous. Be wondrous. There's always something to learn. And a
Yes.
wise person knows there's always something to learn. You
Mm-hmm.
know that knowledge is wonderful, but until you have the wisdom on how to use the knowledge, it's just data. And as you get older, you understand what is relevant and what isn't. And that wisdom to truly slow down and see things differently, interact differently, appreciate differently, really see the value in things that other people aren't seeing, the value of. It really is that wonderful gift of age, because you are really utterly immersing yourself in life. But it's almost like you've slowed the movie down, right? You slowed it down so you could be a part of it and really see it instead of all the fast action.
That's so true. Uh, getting out in nature if you can, and just appreciating the little things that you're seeing, every little thing. I live in the desert. Never thought I would appreciate the desert like I do.
Mm-hmm.
And to just I stroll on the paths and I just marvel at how, especially now when it's so dry in the drought, how some of these plants can survive, and the big sorrel, how they could bloom so beautifully when it's been so dry, or the aged ones. I got a kick out of it this spring when I many of them, they couldn't hold their arms up. If they're old, their arms droop, but then their hands kind of come up and they blossom. And I
Mm.
just celebrated them
Yeah.
for their life journey. It really, I mean, they were such a beautiful example. No matter what our age, we can always bloom.
Yes. And is we have a whole fight going on here in BC right now, fighting for the old growth, the trees. We don't want them cut down. They've been there hundreds of years. They have every right to keep standing, and not to be cut down. And there's a big thing about it. And it's the same when we look at elderly. Young people look at elderly as a nuisance, because maybe we can't hear as well as we used to. We're not as fast as we used to. We're slower, not because there's something wrong with this. It's just that we've just turned the speed down to enjoy every moment, and they're still on the speed going up. Um, but it's that appreciation of what longevity has done, what it's seen, what it's gone through, what the struggle was for every year to still keep standing, right? To still keep moving forward. And if you could appreciate um, those of the wonderful mature age, like a good bottle of wine, if you could appreciate that and go, they just get more fruitful as they get older. And there's so much information to be
Mm,
had from them. And you take the time to listen.
exactly. Exactly. Oh, I think that's one of the things that I'm going to be doing is creating a documentary film,
Mm-hmm.
uh, and it's all about hearing the stories, and it's it's about how you can take your life journey and see the value of it
Yes.
and share your wisdom. And also this film is going to share the joy of the different stages of life and the different things we can do. We'll have people that have gone to expat living, others that are just, have created their businesses at a late stage in life. We're going to do all kinds of fun things in this film to show people this can be such a wonderful stage of life, and you have so many choices. They're abundant.
Yes.
Just got to be aware of them and decide what would bring me joy.
Be willing to participate in them, right? We don't want you, as your maturing age, is for you just to be a spectator. We want you to be a participator,
Exactly.
because
Exactly.
that's where the longevity is. Just to show people exactly what we're talking about here, is that you decided to expand your life adventures, the mantra of joy and expansion for growing ageless, and to drive a 36-foot motorhome, and you went on a lifelong dream of volunteering a vacation in Africa, and you did a 30-fire walk to overcome fear. You
Right.
lived as an expat in Mexico and Ecuador, and created and operated a B&B, bed and breakfast. And so for you, it is really about, not just talking, it's about doing. It's about, okay, my philosophy is, I don't know if I can do it until I try.
Mhm.
9 years ago when I was asked to be on a network, to be on a podcast, I go, what's a podcast? I had no idea. Well, it's on our radio. And my first show that I did live, I pushed all the wrong buttons, and it was a complete Monty Python skit. I mean, everything went wrong. I was with that network for 13 months, and it was all live. And believe me, what could go wrong went wrong, because it's live. And then 8 years ago, I started my own network. If you told me 9 years ago that I was going to be so entrenched in what I'm doing and have so much joy out of it, so much more meaning out of it, I'd go like, and like, be willing to take the journey and explore, because you don't know where it's going to take you, or how it's going to fulfill you, or how it's going to branch off into other things. You've just got to be willing to say yes.
Yes, if you have that spark that brings you joy about maybe I could do that,
Yeah,
won't let that fire die.
right.
Ignite the flame and keep uh, fanning the flame to go for it step by step. And
We
you just,
don't know what we're capable of until we try,
exactly.
right? It's
So
like, say yes, and if it doesn't work, I go, okay, fine, I gave it a try. But don't just say no because you think, well, I really shouldn't be doing that at my age. Again, tight roping, maybe not. He's walking across Niagara, yeah, maybe not a good idea. But obviously, live, certain parameters with body and age and bones and things like that, obviously. But you don't know what you can do. I mean, let's look at Prince Philip. He died at 99, just short of 100. And it
yes,
was only, I think, a year or two before that he crashed in his car and completely rolled it. I mean, he was a person, and the Queen herself, they are participators in life,
totally.
right? And that's their longevity. Plus, they had a great deal of humor, strife and things like that as well. But they knew how to laugh at things, which is important, right?
Mhm.
Including ourselves.
Oh, yes, that we live with that a joyful heart, uh, being able to just see the humor and the joy in everything. And I think that's really important as we move up in our years, because different things are going to be happening more and more. We have challenges.
Yeah.
And I appreciate people that do have serious life challenges and still they want to share their life journey, what's happening, and how they're feeling about what's happening to them. What teachers, and there's
Yes.
many of them have beautiful spirits, and
Yes.
they help us to not be afraid of accepting or getting some type of real big health challenge.
Yeah. I mean, the reason I do these shows is, again, the inspiration begets the invitation as far as I'm concerned, but it's also the best teachers are those that have gone through it, right? They've gone through it. It might not be your exact journey, but there's enough relatability for you to know, okay, they went through it. How did you get through that process? And they discovered their strength, their courage, their abilities, their meaningful purpose, and now they've stepped into that light to share it with others. And that is one of the greatest gifts. Everything we go through, there's a reason behind it. And
Exactly.
and who we become because of it is where the gift lies. And
Right.
what we do with that gift is, the greatest gift of all. And it really just shows you, I mean, the amount of people that I've interviewed that have said to have I did this and I never ever would have thought I could, or you listen to the story and you think, how did they get through that?
Right.
Because they had every right to give up with what they went through, but they didn't. They didn't give up. They
Right.
didn't give up. They fought and went through the process to become. And it doesn't matter where you are, as you said, whether what your limitations are. There's always something we can do. I have a physical limitation that really slows me down quite considerably physically. So there's a lot of physical things I can't do.
Mhm.
So, okay, that's not the avenue I'm going to pursue,
That's right.
right? Pursue the
That's right.
avenue where you do have the strength and the abundance, right? It's like, well, I can't do that anymore. Is anybody asking you to do that? Look for what you can still do.
Yes, I celebrate you, Sarah,
Oh,
for
thank you.
what you are doing, the messenger that you are to help so many. You're giving an avenue to many of us to share our stories, and in through your being present to hear our stories, we all are growing.
As I said, the best teachers, if they say there's an app for everything. I say I have a show for everything. I have this a subject that you need to know about. It's here because of people like you, right?
Mm,
Who've come on and shared, the strife and the struggles, but also the joy and the exuberance, and it becomes again that inspiration for other people.
right.
There is a way out. There is hope. There, I can overcome this, and that's the whole reason why any of us do what we do, because we
It's
want
true.
people to believe they can, and we're here for you.
Mm,
We're here to help you, and that's what it's about. Community, helping one another.
exactly. And we need that more than ever, I think, as we age.
Yeah.
We need community.
Yes.
It's very, very important. And that's one of the reasons why I'm creating community, a
Yeah.
large community.
Yes. Tell us about that, because it's one of your new projects,
It's
Project
called
Ageless.
Ageless.
Yes.
And I love it.
Yes.
I used to always have Project Joy, and now I've moved to Project Ageless, because I want everybody to have an ageless attitude about it.
Yes. Yes.
So what I've done is I've created an ageless quiz It's our story, our beliefs that we have that determine how we're going to look at our
Mm.
lives. And so through this quiz, you kind of begin to realize, wow, I never thought about that. Maybe I'm giving myself the wrong message here. And so I encourage our listeners to take the quiz, and we'll have the link for the quiz
Yes.
here. And and then they will receive guidance as to. I'll have a. I'm putting it together right now, and there will be 3 tips or practices that have really helped me in developing my attitude
Hmm.
that I want to share. And so, following the quiz, they'll receive that as my gift.
Wonderful. Both of them are a gift because we don't ask ourselves the questions because we don't often know what those questions are. So when
Yes,
somebody asks the questions of you and you go, oh, I haven't thought about that. Oh, I didn't realize I thought that way. And
exactly.
it's a reveal to yourself because normally you wouldn't ask yourself those questions. And then, then for you to give the 3 perspectives of this is what I did to channel myself back to that joy. It is like, okay, that these are the tools I need in order, because clearly, I maybe have gone off track. And we all do. We all do. And this last year, has certainly thrown people off track. And, the isolation, the not being able to be around people, hug people, go out for a simple lunch or even volunteer,
Right.
that it's been that, and people are kind of coming out now, kind of pulling the curtain. Is it safe? Is it
Yes.
safe? And slowly, tentatively coming out. And we need to be there with big arms and just embrace them as they do and say, yeah, you're safe in this community. We've got you, right?
Right. And all our lives, we have been programmed with a cultural story
Yeah.
around aging.
Hmm.
And that's what I would like to see change. I mean, one by one, each of us can make, we can be a change maker
Yes.
by accepting a new belief for ourselves and growing an ageless attitude.
Yeah.
And because the government or the big companies and so forth, they're making too much money off of anti-aging products and their promotion, and that we're not good enough unless we
Right.
buy their products or whatever exactly. And so
Do we really want to go around looking like this? Like this plastic doll. No. I earned all my gray hairs. I earned all my wrinkles. You're not taking them away from me.
and so uh, I just want people to celebrate who they are right where they
Yes.
are, and uh, that's what it's all about, loving ourselves.
Yes.
Look
Yes.
in that mirror and just love on yourself.
Yeah.
I when I started a practice of this, I would stand in that mirror looking at myself for 4 or 5 minutes and just keep telling myself, I love you, and look into my eyes.
Yes.
And it is amazing when you do that, say even 30 days,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
how you're going to feel different. And so anytime you walk by a mirror, you smile at yourself
Hmm.
instead of, hmm,
Become your own best friend,
yes.
right? But there's another point you make there is that the reason why you have to keep doing it, because initially when we look in the mirror, we see all the flaws.
Right.
Oh, you've got another wrinkle. You gained weight. And you can only nitpick at yourself for so long. But
Mm-hmm.
if you could see beyond the surface and go into the heart and soul of you and go, your heart and soul wants to come out, and you're the one that's restricting it, because you're living this illusion, this facade. And so what, you have another wrinkle. So what, you have another gray hair. So what, you've gained weight. So what? Where's the heart? Where's your joy? Where's your soul? Let it out, right?
Oh, indeed, indeed. We've earned it all.
We have. We certainly have. Absolutely. And
And we need to celebrate it all.
right, it's because we've chosen to live in joy doesn't mean we haven't known sorrow.
Right.
It's
Indeed.
just we chose to live in joy
Yes.
because
Yes.
we know how precious time is, how precious life is, right? It's why waste the time on constantly living in the sorrow, the pain, or the anger, or the anguish, or the um, wanting to get revenge or anything else like that. It eats you up. It's swallowing your life.
It makes such a difference when you take, okay, I've had these really big challenges, and instead of, or somebody's hurt you or something,
Yeah.
and you've moved beyond it. What is the gift in it?
Yeah.
Always looking for what is the gift, like you had mentioned earlier, in everything. It totally changes your perspective on life.
Yeah. And to people that have, done you wrong, it takes two, somebody's done you wrong, but what did you do that, maybe invited it and you didn't know, right?
Mhm.
Not an open invitation. But the thing is, it's also you don't know what they're going through at that time.
That's right.
And them lashing out at you is maybe with the first person, or them hurting you is making them feel better for a moment, which we know that doesn't last. But it's we have to take some ownership. Is then okay, if they've done you wrong and they keep doing you wrong, why are you sticking around?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes, indeed. Um, that's again loving self enough to step away if something is not honoring you
Yeah. We
or
hear
something.
people getting divorced that they've been married 40, 45 years. Why are they getting a divorce now? Because they finally realize they can't live together anymore. And life is too short to just stay together just because, right?
Right, right. And I really commend them for that.
Yeah, yeah,
When they come to a point of knowing it's there is no reckoning. We are not making one another miserable.
yeah,
Like you say, life is too short, and you just want to bless one another and go on our way, our separate ways.
yeah,
No anger, let it go.
yeah.
We've each changed, we've grown. I did that in my own marriage. I needed to leave,
Hmm.
and I left. Uh, and I have no ill will towards my husband.
Right. Yeah.
Uh, but I finally got up the courage.
Yes.
He was happier
Yeah.
after we left, after we separated and divorced. His life became much richer,
Hmm.
as did mine.
Right. I mean, the people you were when you got married are very different people. We evolve. This terminology, you're not the woman I married. No, we evolve, we grow with circumstances of life. And you hope in a partnership you're going to do that together. Or at
Yeah.
least if you each are doing it separately, that you're there supporting one another through it. And if you're not, one's growing at a different rate than the other, that's the part. It is healthier to say, this is not working. And I love and respect you enough to know that we're not good for each other.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm. I
Don't stay
totally,
together just because.
yeah. It's that again. It's loving yourself and loving the other person, giving ourselves permission to live our best life,
Yeah.
whatever that looks.
And our best life, it's still to come. We can
Yes.
top yesterday, we can top today. It's and the reason why we can do that is because we're so much more appreciative than we used to be. And it may not take as much to top. It's when we're younger, we're kind of looking at the big things. Now it's the small things. Like the other day, a hummingbird came to the window while I'm doing an interview, and it's like, a hummingbird, and it's like, it is the little things that you appreciate so much that lift you up. So take the resentment blinkers and the moan and groan blinkers off and just say, I choose positive living.
Mm-hmm. Oh, totally, totally. And when we get to this stage in life, it truly is a choice
Hmm.
as to which direction we are going.
Right.
You can go down and we all know of people that go down the road of complaint.
Yeah, the violin. Yes. And if they sometimes sometimes they need to get it off their chest. We all do. We've all got to get something off our chest. But it's I say is that tap into your emotions. They're telling you something, but don't become emotional about them,
Mhm.
right? Because that's when you kind of start going down that rabbit hole, and it's a little hard to get back out of it.
Right, it is. And people don't want to be around you.
No, no. I mean, don't sweat the small stuff, right?
Right, right. I mean, we want to leave a legacy of people
Yeah.
appreciating who we are, how we saw life,
Yes.
how we lived our lives, and not looking at what wasn't right, but all that, being grateful for all that is.
Our proverbial book of life, we want people to proverbially read it and go, that was a life well lived.
Yes, yes,
Right? We've wasted a lot of time, especially our generation, because we were conditioned to be people pleasers at our own expense and not to place any value or importance um, or any kind of care or loving on you because it was considered selfish. And we've learned, no, that's not the right message. The more love you have within you, around you, about you, for you, the more love that you're going to share with everyone else.
oh, totally. Your attitude changes
Mm.
totally about everything. Like I said, that's what helped me. I think one of my greatest gifts was to fall in love with myself.
Yes.
Because all those years of truly not loving myself, and I really couldn't find true joy.
Mm.
I was looking always at outside
Yeah.
circumstances. I excelled in my businesses, I did everything, but inside that inner joy wasn't there because I didn't love and appreciate who I was
Right.
as much.
Yeah. Your
And
twin is still around, right?
yes, she is.
And
Yes.
so, how's your relationship with her changed now that you've stepped into, also being number one?
Right. I think I would say I'm freer around her now.
Mm.
I'm freer to be me,
Yeah.
and that makes it wonderful.
Yeah.
Now she has some health challenges too, and so I feel blessed where I am in my journey, and we're going to be doing a fair amount of traveling in our RV together,
Nice. Nice.
uh, doing recording people, women around the country for our
Wonderful.
movie,
Yes.
and also to share with our community all the various stories. So, I mean, it's such a gift to be a twin. It
Yeah.
really is. Uh, Even though I took on for myself, she didn't put it. Nobody told me I was second best.
Right.
She never felt that way.
Yeah.
It was my own thought process, and so, but we're the best of friends. We really are, and
What a fantastic trip to do with your bestie, to go around hearing stories and you hear stories and your jaw drops, and I find the people that have gone through the most suffering and have chosen to be the kindest, caring, loving, and joyous people.
exactly,
And what an
exactly.
inspiration that is.
Oh,
What an illumination.
that is. And that's the thing that will help others to hear
Yeah,
these stories.
yeah,
Through our
exactly.
stories that we grow the most and become the most inspired. It was like, oh, she's doing that. I could do that too.
Yes, yes,
That's
exactly, exactly. When are you going to be doing that?
what am I doing
No,
next?
when are you going to be doing the
Oh, the
RV?
interviews will be the RV. Well, actually, this fall, we have, the RV. We'll be traveling this fall. A lot of our interviewing will be happening more throughout 2022.
Right.
And I will have a documentary film team to pull it all together and to work with.
Nice. Very, very nice. You know, we see, I mean, social media gets a big rap. And as you said, it became something for you where you built a community because it's an algorithm. So what you feed will grow. If you're
Right.
going to feed the conspiracy and the hate, then that's what they're going to keep throwing at you, like the shopping thing. You know, the moment you click on one thing of interest, all of a sudden you have 10 million ads being thrown at you and something similar, right? That's an algorithm. We're an algorithm in life. So, you
Right.
know, our vibration is going to attract. And where social media has been really beautiful, and YouTube, especially for this, is the beautiful stories that are being told, you know,
Oh,
of strength, of courage, of kindness, of acts of kindness, of generosity, of marvel. And, you know, our hearts are so warmed, you know, and we look at these people and they think they're so courageous, and
exactly.
you know, and then it's a look. Well, if they can do that, surely I can face what I'm going through. And
Hmm.
yeah, it's just, I very often while I'm editing or doing something, I'm just watching those things just to uplift me.
Right.
And the extent people will go to saving animals' lives, or you know, other people, and it's just, that's the humanity I'm talking about. You know.
Oh, I so agree. And then it's like, oh, I can do more.
Yeah.
Those stories inspire us so much
Yeah.
to, like, what am I doing? How could I even be a greater benefit to society? How
Yeah.
can I? And that's what I think, what I want, those types of stories. It's what I want to share in our community, that we truly are inspiring one another.
And that there's so much inspiration out there. You know, do not write people off because they've reached a certain age and think they've got nothing else to tell.
Right.
Stop and listen, have a conversation, hear what it is, because those are golden nuggets. They are the orchard of wisdom ready for picking.
That's right. That's right. You make me so excited to get out there and
I can't wait. You've got to come back and share all about it. I want to know all the experiences. Most certainly, I'm envious. I'd love to do that. Um, but you know, it's an exciting thing just to kind of randomly meet people and share their stories, and you'll also find there's so much humility and humbleness amongst many of these people, right? Which is just beautiful.
exactly. And of course, having a twin sister, that in itself is a gift that helps us. I call it the gift of twinship.
Mhm.
That's in a brings people to us.
Yes.
And then I share about what my mission is, and then, oh, I know of somebody you
Yeah.
need, you know. So it's a beautiful thing. I'm just excited to get out there and meet the people, travel the country and the world.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And the thing is, it is never, ever, ever too late. You
That's
know,
it.
you're never too old to be great. And, you know, as you said, it's never too late to be great, you know, just be ageless. And that's the beauty of it is, you know, with what you're doing, you're showing people that, hey, 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 don't think about writing us off. We've
Right.
got a hell of a lot more to give, and we're going to give it, and you can learn from it if you wish, but we're going to be here until the day we are not here. We're going to participate in life.
Right. Grab every moment of life,
Yes.
celebrate it, make it
Yes.
the most
Yes.
that you can, uh, because we don't know how many days we have. You
No.
know, I say live agelessly. We live for today, and we have dreams for tomorrow, but we make the most
Yeah.
of every day. And when I say living agelessly means we don't stop the aging process.
Right. This
It's
isn't an
not
ageless cream
stopping
you're
our
selling on the back of your truck, you know? Yeah.
we don't stop life because we're aging. We do what we can.
An ageless attitude.
That's it.
Ageless attitude with gratitude, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Because, you know, if we know our limitations, we know what we can physically, mentally, whatever do, but that doesn't stop us from doing. Right.
right.
And the thing is, if you continue to do, even if you just simply, devoted yourself to your garden,
Right.
you get so much pleasure out of your garden, and everybody going past your garden gets so much pleasure for seeing it. Right. You don't, if you don't want to be out there in the community amongst people for some reason, there's always something you can do. As
That's
I
right.
said, I have a friend who also she knits gloves and scarves for the homeless, and
Mhm.
mountains of it that she does. She's just watching TV, knitting away,
Yeah.
and the thing is, there's always something you can do. It's like, just don't do nothing, because not only is it not contributing to society, but it's also going to eat away at you. And then you're going to look at, well, what's life all about? Well, life is about getting up and joining in and
Right.
dancing to the exuberance of life itself.
Yes. Yes. We we don't want to let life pass us by and sit it out.
No.
And too many. If we listen to the old cultural story around aging, we're going to sit out the third chapter of life, and we got
Right.
to change that.
What? You know what? 30 years of my life, what, on a rocking chair, on the porch? How boring. Unless you've got people coming for storytelling and bringing some beer or something or scotch over, then that's different. But that's 30 years that you're
That,
wanting to throw away of someone's life. Come on, folks. Come on. This is the precious time that we have here. Look at the wisdom and the knowledge and the the positivity that we have at these ages, that it could be such great teachings for others, right? Don't you throw us out. We ain't going.
yes, it's if we just grab these precious days and do what we can, whatever that may be, and it varies for us all, but always, how can I be a gift?
Yes.
How can I be a gift? That then will take you into that ageless attitude,
Hmm.
and it will give you a reason and a purpose for your life, a reason to get up, to celebrate, to
Mm.
live life fully, to know that you are going to leave a legacy that you're proud of.
Do you know the show Frankie, Gracie and Frankie?
Yes.
Again, two women in their 80s,
Yeah.
circumstances bring them together. It's a wonderful show, full of humor and
Right.
full of mischief of what they're always getting up to. But I love the scene with Jane Fonda, where the hip has gone and she can't get off the toilet.
Yeah.
And the thing is, they're not afraid to address some of
Uh,
those things that happen to us, right? And they do it with humor, and they do it with, oh, there's a solution. And the thing is, they still get up and do what they can do, even if there are some things they realize, oh, that's a little more difficult than it used to be.
exactly. Exactly. Yes. We learn as we how to deal with the different challenges, but we don't stop living
Yeah.
because challenges come up. Just like I celebrate you. You have some physical challenges, but you may because of it you're doing more.
Oh God, yeah, I am actually.
You know?
Yeah, we have a lot more to come too. Just because I keep seeing that, like that, oh, there's more possibilities. I could take it this way. I could take it that way. We're going into books. We're going into this. We're going into that, and it's like, as long as the will is there, you find the way.
Mm-hmm. That's it.
Right? You're going to be driving around interviewing people, putting a whole documentary together, and you've got this wonderful quiz going, which helps people kind of question. And it really is important that people understand this. We don't ask ourselves these questions.
Right.
So taking a quiz that's asking these questions that we wouldn't even think about, but those answers have gone, oh, food for thought. Food
Uh-huh.
for thought. If I'm not doing this, or I'm not doing that, or I see things this way, this is time to kind of understand why, and
Right.
what I need to do, how I need to step up in my own life. So again, a simple thing that you've done that can have such a massive impact on people, and just getting them to pause and look at their life and go, well, what do I want to feed?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Right. Right. That and through this quiz we are going to be learning so much about what is the attitude through
Yeah.
the different questions, and so that's even going to help us with our documentary
Yes.
to see what is the cultural story, what are people saying around these different questions.
Yeah. I know that I've been doing this 9 years, and when I first started off, it was kind of the 40s plus, and now I'm getting younger and younger generation coming on that are very mature already and really wanting to make a difference in lives. But the youngest person I had on was 10, and she'd written a book,
Oh,
365 Days of Gratitude with a Positive Attitude, and then 88, and it's like the
yes,
one thing I've learned through all of this is that if we've still got drive and passion inside of us, there's always something we could do to make a difference.
that is so true. That it has to be an inside job.
Yes, literally, inside out, folks. And that's one thing you've learned from the mirror talk is that while you're busy criticizing yourself on the outside, your heart is going, hello, hello, I'm here. When are you going to come and talk to me? And my spirit, will you go to let me free? Who cares what's on the outside? I want the inside to come out.
Yeah,
And eventually it will.
shine. Let our light shine.
Yes, yes.
We can shine at any age.
At any age, it's never, never too late. So,
Mm.
you've got this wonderful thing. Now, all people have to do is come to selfdiscoverymedia.com and put in um, JoyAnn, and that's JoyAnn, Joy, capital ANN Gold, or Elaine Gold, whichever page I've got there. And you've got You're Never Too Old to Be Great, and just put in her name, and both things will come up. The show that we're doing today, and also the wonderful quiz program, the Ageless Project, and all of that link will be there to the quiz, and then from there to the answers, and you can join that movement, and just make that discovery. And really, quite honestly, there really isn't an age bracket on that. I mean, we've got so many kind of mid 30s going like, well, what really is life about, and so whether it's for somebody 99 or 29, we need to be asking ourselves the questions, don't we?
We do. We do. It's never too soon to ask ourselves
Yeah.
these questions, and it's never too late to
Right.
ask ourselves.
And then, as you said, you sharing, three perspectives of things that you did that helped you through it. And again, it doesn't matter where you're at, age-wise or circumstances in life, there's something there that's relevant to you. Even if it's not, okay, B isn't, but A and C is, and that's the thing, is you're going to take from it that's relevant to you in your situation now. But
Indeed, I truly believe that
yeah,
because I have talked with people of all ages, and I find that the young also are quite amazed sometimes. I mean, the other day, or it wasn't the other day, it was a couple months ago, I was talking to a gal who was turning 29, and she was like, "Oh, I'm getting so old." It's really quite inspired by my view of life
uh-huh.
at 77 then, and so she started to realize, well, I guess maybe I have a whole lot to look
Yes,
towards. I'm maybe not as old as I think I am.
exactly.
So you're never too young to start looking at
No.
this
Yeah.
stage of life or how you view life at any stage.
We're born into joy, we grow up with that joy, and then somewhere along the line it gets beaten out of us, and then we don't think we're entitled to joy. Well, what
Yes,
we're saying is joy is something you're born with. Don't ever lose it. Constantly live with it. Let it go free, because it will show you everything worth living for.
definitely, definitely. The inner joy.
Yeah,
It's an
exactly.
inside job and let it flow.
Yeah, and that's the important thing is, whatever you're doing in life. I mean, how many people are working in jobs just for the paycheck and they hate what they're doing? And it's not working, folks, because that's going to eat away at you. It's going to cause anxiety. It's going to kill any sense of joy in your life. And you may be getting a good paycheck, but it isn't enough if it's shut your heart down and killed your soul and obliterated your joy. Go and find something that may pay less, but my God, the abundance of joy that comes out of it is absolutely exuberant.
And it may actually, usually, if you find something that you're passionate about and gives you joy, it will bless you in all ways,
Yes,
abundance wise, too.
exactly. The abundance is always there, right?
Right.
It's just a question of whether we pick it or not.
Right.
Now, we're going to have the link for people for the quiz. But people getting hold of you that want to kind of know more, or even know more about where you're going to be traveling. Can I give out your email?
Yes, you may. Right.
Okay. So it's JoyAnn, Joy, Ann at Joy of Growing Ageless. Is that .com or anything, or just Joy of Growing Ageless?
JoyAnn at joyofgrowingageless.com.
.com. Excellent. And
Mm-hmm.
what an example you are. And this is why I love interviewing people of that beautiful fine bodied bottle of wine, because you're just so
Oh,
full of flavor for life and zest for life. I love it. And it is a reminder to all of us: don't take life so seriously, or even whatever you're going through, you will get through this. That life is worth living. Don't get stuck in the tragedy of the moment. You too can see through this, and you too can move forward to a beautiful, abundant life. And that life, by your sheer example of what you're doing, is be engaged in your life.
totally. Look for how can I celebrate, get up and get out there, or even from where I am. If I can't even move, you can do something wonderful with your life, your energy, even sitting, smiling in gratitude. You're blessing the world with your energy.
You are.
Wherever we are at,
Yeah.
if we just live with a heart filled with gratitude and joy.
Yes. Heart filled. And as you said, a smile can be so intoxicating. A soft good morning. How are
Yes,
you today? An
now we can
acknowledgement of other people. Yes.
out the
Yes.
mask again.
Yes. Yes. I mean, it's, there's that famous model, she taught America's Top Model, and she would call smiles, smile with your eyes. And for the last 18 months, we've all been smiling with our eyes, but it's nice to get the big cheeks going again and the big smile. So yeah, we do need to smile. Well, we need to be grateful for what we do have. We also need to be grateful for the fact that we do have choices, and
Yes,
that those choices, when we seed them properly, water them properly, can grow into a beautiful abundance of joy, meaningful purpose, and a sense of wonderment and adventure in our lives.
life truly is an adventure.
Mm,
And if we look at it that way, and instead of thinking it has to be a certain way, it's just a grand adventure. We
yeah,
can celebrate it all, every stage.
yes. And it ain't over until it's over.
That's right.
Until the body expires, and then the spirit will go off somewhere else and have fun. But
Yeah.
that life isn't for you here just to be born, suffer, just survive, and just be on the treadmill, be a sheeple, go through life, it sucks. It's not about that. Life is about the little things, the little joys, the little laughter. It's about company. It's
Uh,
about community. It's
yeah.
about serving. It's about loving all the wonderful things in life and being there for each other in times of tragedy or sorrow,
Right.
or whatever else is going on. And gosh, we learn so much from each other when we do that, don't we?
Yes. Yes. It's life is grand. It's one grand adventure if we allow it to be that.
Yes,
It is a choice. It is a choice, and every day is a choice.
it certainly is. So if you want to get hold of her, JoyAnn at joyofgrowingageless.com. You can email her. And also you can just come to Joy for the JoyAnn Aline Gold, and that will take you to the quiz sign up. It's right here in Self Discovery Media, folks. You just put Self Discovery Media in the search engine, put in her name, both her show and the quiz will come up. And sign up for the quiz. You're going to be very, very enlightened. as to exactly those questions and what they spark in you. There might be a few lovely aha moments. And then
Mhm.
she's got, as a gift, three wonderful of her own perspectives of what she did in her own life that helped her where she is today. And look where she is today, folks. You know, documentary coming up, this quiz there to help you get centered, sharing out the exuberance of joy and love. And we need more of her out there. So thank you so much for sharing your joy and for, you know, not putting, oh, well, I'm 78, I need to sit back and relax now. No, for you, it's like, well, for the next 2 years, I'm going to be doing this documentary, and then I'm going to be doing this, and then I'm going to be doing that. But that's what keeps you alive,
Oh, it does.
right?
Keep you excited and
Yes.
passionate about
Yes. Yes.
possibilities. Yes.
Yeah.
I
Don't
was,
lose your passion, folks. Don't
yes,
lose your passion, please. Life
yes,
is, you know, it's just, you know, we see so many Armageddon movies, and it always like, I watch this and I go, okay, hang on. There's no power on Earth, and people have gone back to the Dark Ages. Why can't we switch the power back on, or why can't we rebuild? We know how, you know, and it's why do we choose to be in the Dark Ages instead of choosing to be productive and rebuild? And maybe we'll even rebuild better, right?
yes.
So it's, you know, it's defeatist attitude, or what can we make out of this? What's possible?
That's it. Always something grander if we look for it.
Yep. And willing to participate. Thank you so much. It's been an absolute delight having you here and, you know, feeling your joy. You've certainly been named the right name, that's for sure. And I think you've stepped into your name now, right?
My name, JoyAnn, it was really quickly. It was given to me by, I'll say, an earth angel at a conference. She came up to me and she said to me, "You are not Joanne," which was my birth name.
Mm.
She said, "You'll always be JoyAnn." I loved it,
Yeah,
and the daughter loved it. My mother loved it. So I legally changed it. I
good.
asked her why.
Right. Well,
So,
somebody saw you. Somebody saw you,
yes,
right? They revealed you to you. And that
yes.
was a beautiful gift. And now that
About it.
gift carries on.
And the thing about it, she was a lady at that point yet. I didn't love myself that
Mm.
much. And as a result, I was still judging others.
Yes.
And and I have to admit, I judged her a lot during that conference. And then for her to come up to me and
Yeah.
share that, wow, what a gift.
Yes. There are many people that see people from the inside out. I'm not one to see the exterior of people, more the interior of people, and you know, believe in them, but they've got to believe in themselves, right? She revealed you to you, and that kind of was the seeding. That was a part of your own personal journey and your own personal growth. And sometimes it only takes one to just see you in a different way, to show you, much like what you've done with the quiz. You're helping people to see themselves,
Exactly.
right? And in that reflection, it's like, okay, I know what needs to be changed, or I know what needs to be embraced. But sometimes it's just somebody seeing us.
Mm-hmm. That is so true, Sarah. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Ah,
I can't wait to have you back on to hear all about the documentary, or the journey, and all the people that you get to talk to. I just really am looking forward to that. Remember, folks, JoyAnn Gold. Just put in her name, and both the quiz will come up, and also this show. And don't forget to share it. Have a podcast. You know, there's a book club. Have a podcast book. Listen to the podcast. Have a conversation afterwards, because that is the invitation, to have that conversation, and do it amongst friends where you can go, you know what? Yeah. Where's your joy been lately? Where did you put it? Your bottom drawer? Time to bring it out, right? And there's that encouragement from other people to say, okay, you know, if she can, we can, let's do it. And let's do it together.
thank you. I'm blessed to be sharing.
Mwah. Thank you very much. And until next time, folks, remember, there is no age. It's just a beautiful maturity of wisdom that we get to use and you get to benefit by. So until next time, bye for now. We hope that you enjoyed the show. You will hear many, many shows here on selfdiscoverymedia.com. We have new shows for you out every week. Just find them on our podcast or What's New. If you feel that you have something to share that makes a difference in the lives of others, or you too feel that you could be a host, please contact me at info@selfdiscoverymedia.com and we will be glad to speak with you. Have a wonderful day.